Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and to the next episode of Genre Makers. Now, we've talked a lot about some genres and almost none about others, and I promise you that we'll get to those in time. However, today I want to dive into a genre that's one of the closest things to a racing game that I think I actually personally enjoy, and that's kart racers. Yep, we're finally talking about a racing game I like. Unless I'm eating a blue shell. Curse you, blue shells! Yeah. You know, I'm going to talk about Mario Kart and how it heavily popularized this genre of game and honestly may have made it in the first place, because I don't really recall anyone making one before this one came out. So if you have a minute, stock up on those banana peels and watch out for those shells as we dig into kart racers and Mario Kart. Now, Mario Kart first released in 1992, but its inception came out before this in the form of a Famicom disc game that you may or may not know called Famicom Grand Prix. This game worked, well, a lot more like RC Pro-Am than what we know of as Mario Kart. But instead of RC cars, you're actually driving small F1 cars from an isometric perspective without the power-ups and money to upgrade your car on the track. You simply race like you would in a Formula 1 race, doing pit stops and the like. Now, none of the racers seem to be Mario himself, but he does show up on the box art and is the majority of the pit crew in the game. This makes it one of the first racing games to feature Mario in it. Now, Nintendo would start to explore more racing games when it came to the Super Nintendo, releasing games like F-Zero, which made good use of the Mode 7 in the system to give the game more of a 3D feel. This got Nintendo thinking about making a two-player version of this kind of game, and after some tinkering, a prototype was shown with a generic man in overalls driving a go-kart around the track. This sparked the idea of using Mario in this game, and they ran with it, launching Super Mario Kart to the world in 1992. This was a widely popular game, selling around 8.76 million copies, and honestly it's pretty easy to see why. The gameplay was simple to pick up. You just pick your racer, who all had their own colored kart and a varying degree of weight, which would make them slower to take off but will allow them to push other players around a little bit more, and you just take off and race. Unlike a lot of racing games, Rock and Roll Racing and RC Pro-Am aside, you had weapons. These would allow you to catch up or knock people out of place, adding an element of randomization to the main gameplay. Players further in the back would get more powerful power-ups like lightning bolts, stars, or red shells in order to catch up, whereas people in the lead, or farther ahead, were more likely to get things like coins or mushrooms. The idea was to allow players of all ages to have a chance to come out ahead in any given race and keep the races fairly close. It became not only a fun game to play solo, but in groups more so, especially when Mario Kart 64 dropped on the Nintendo 64 later in the series' lifespan. This opened the game up to 4 players. It also included more weapons and items to pick up, and included a battle mode where players could fight each other and, with each hit, take away a balloon from a player. After all the balloons were gone, the player would then turn into a bomb and could chase people around the stage, detonating and possibly taking out other opponents, which added to a lot of chaos and fun in big group sessions. This was, if possible, even more popular, and spurred more people to get into these kinds of racing games, with Diddy Kong Racing coming out, taking a similar tack to Mario Kart, just using items and characters from the Donkey Kong franchise. Sega, not to be left behind, but also come out with Sonic Racers, putting Sonic and all the people behind the wheel of a vehicle, which many of us, myself included, found a bit ironic to say the least. Even Mortal Kombat would get in on the action with Motor Combat, which was a minigame included in Mortal Kombat Armageddon. Mario Kart, regardless of all this, remains the most popular and well-known of the bunch, with 8 titles in the series and likely more on the way given how popular it and Mario are as characters. Honestly though, the one I want to see more of again was Motor Combat. I don't think I gave it any time at all when I originally saw it, and I'd love to see another take on it. It just looks way too funny. However, what did you guys think of this one? Are any of you fans of kart racers, and if so, which ones? Are there any lying dormant that you'd like to see revived, and if so, which ones? Let me know in the comments. And while you're there, if you don't mind, please leave this video a like. And if you see more of my content you like, consider following the channel. That helps me out a ton. Till we meet again though, have a great rest of your day, and happy gaming.